This lesson is supposed to give you a basic understanding of reading metal building drawings so that you can install framed openings for louvers. Every manufacturer's drawings are a little bit different and every project will be slightly different. When reading drawings, the best place to start is typically the cover sheet. We will find the information we need for the framed openings on the secondary drawings, so we can use the drawing index to know that we can skip ahead to sheet 22. The secondary elevation drawing has plenty of framed openings on it. Let's see if we can get it oriented so we see which direction we're laying out from. As we can see in the center of this page, this is line A. It's more clear if we take a closer look. Using this overhead view or plan view, we can use the grids to see which corner we're starting from. This is the corner that we're starting from. This is where column line 13 and column line A meet, and we're working on line A. That means we're starting on this corner and heading in this direction. This is our first framed opening on this line. This opening looks like a door, but because there is this horizontal channel or sill piece, we know it is either a window or a louver. Louver is a term used for ventilation openings in a building. This framed opening has X-bracing that goes through it. This is usually an issue, but it's not as much an issue on louvers. But it's always a good idea to let your supervisor know if you're working on a framed opening that has X-bracing running through it. We are starting on this corner. In order to understand these drawings, we're going to need to understand some terms and some other information that can be found in the keys at the corner of the drawing. The red arrows are explaining the meaning of CL, or center line. Center line is an imaginary line drawn through the center of the column or through the center of an anchor bolt pattern. The blue arrow points to the number 7. If you look at the chart and key, the number 7 means 2 foot. So this drawing is telling you that the jamb or edge channel for the framed opening is supposed to be 2 foot off the center line of column line 12. Quite often, all that you have are your metal building drawings, but it is always a good idea to check those against the mechanical drawings or the louver cut sheets if that's possible. This mechanical drawing gives you the locations of the louver opening in inches. We use this detail to determine what materials we need for the framed opening. We will need 2 each J3 jambs. We will need 2 each H2 header channels. We will need 8 PG1 clips. And we will need 2 JTG4 jamb to girt clips. For the clips, you also need fasteners. As we see here, these clips that attach to the concrete, you will need bolts to go in the channel, and you will also need to drill in epoxy 1/2-inch rods. TC bolts or tension control bolts look slightly different from the hex bolts you typically picture when you think of bolts. TC bolts have a special spline that break off at the correct tension when they are installed using a tool called a shear wrench. For the header and seal clips, you will also need bolts. It is important to remember that this is indeed a frame. So, the smooth side of the channel on the header faces down, and the smooth side of the channel on the sill faces up. The dimensions we determined for the framed opening are the exact sizes that it needs to be. So when you lay it out, you have to factor that in. So you adjust the holes so that the actual frame is the size that you're going for. For the girt to jamb clips, you not only need to remember the bolts, but you also need to use the chart that shows the correct jamb depths. This concludes this video on reading drawings for louver framed openings. Door framed openings will be a separate video. One of our members has donated this presentation to the Metal Building Contractors and Erectors Association as part of our initiative to develop a cohesive national accredited assembler training program. If you have content that you would like to donate, please reach out.